welcome back to Screaming Geek Media. I am Jerry the Geek. Today, this video, we're going to talk about Imax 3D versus Dolby Cinema, and at the theater. But before we do, if you like physical media, 4Ks, Blu-rays, DVDs, if you like home theater and movies in general, please check out my other videos on my channel, like and subscribe, and turn your bell notifications on. So, up for discussion today, we're going to talk about IMAX 3D versus Dolby Cinema. So I recently did a video talking about 3D after seeing the new Avatar movie in IMAX 3D. Made me want to throw a 3D video out there talking about it and the pros and cons about it. Mainly, I'm not a big fan of 3D. But this video I decided to do since with Avatar: The Way of Water, like I said, the first time I watched it was IMAX 3D, and I wanted to see it again with a better experience. And plus, my wife didn't get a chance to see it the first time, so this time around we went back up to Wichita and did a Dolby Cinema, and I was so impressed. I was glad I went again because, hands down, I'll take Dolby Cinema over IMAX 3D anytime. I know a lot of you out there love 3D. I don't get it. To me, it's distracting. I talk about that in my 3D video as well. Plus, for me, it's a strain on the eyes. I don't really get headaches, but just definitely an eye strain wearing those glasses. And plus, the glasses, in my opinion, you lose some of the color and detail. Just something about the glasses are just not good enough. Or the Dolby Cinema screen in Wichita is a fairly good sized screen. It's no little rundown hometown screen. It's a pretty good size. It's no IMAX, but it's pretty damn big. So I have no problem with choosing it over the IMAX. I'm real picky when it comes to seats. I don't want to be up on front, get a crick in my neck because I'm right in front of the screen. So I usually pick near the back. And I like to be in close to dead center as possible. And when it comes to the video presentation, was incredible. I was just completely blown away with the Dolby. Like I said, it just looked better. It wasn't as distracting. It was still distracting because James Cameron is using high frame rates now. I'm not a fan of it. I know a lot of people out there love it because high frame rate does give you a lot more detail. But at the same time, in my opinion, it's distracting. You lose the cinematic feel with those high frame rates. A lot of scenes, it looked like, it gives you that soap opera look. But there was so much CGI in it. There's a lot of scenes where it looked like I was watching a video game and not a movie, and it doesn't work for me. I talk about this in my Gemini Man review because it was a high frame rate, but it was worse because they use a 60 frames per second, where Avatar Cameron went with I think 48 frames per second. But it was still enough. It was a distraction. Like I said, it looked great, so it scares me with anything that Cameron's putting his hands on. He's messing with high frame rates, and I'm afraid what's going to happen with the 4K. I'm going to be stuck watching the Blu-ray because it's going to, fuck up the video with a high frame rate, in my opinion. But yeah, like I said, comparing the two, IMAX 3D and Dolby Cinema, is going to really come down to if you like 3D or not. Definitely, go out and see a movie on both formats and get your own opinions. But for me, I'll take Dolby Cinema any day of the week. It is freaking awesome. And for me, I've seen the last two Halloween movies on Dolby Cinema, and they're phenomenal. And with my wife, we've seen the new Avatar. We saw Secrets of Dumbledore and Top Gun. I think those are everything we've seen on the Dolby Cinema so far, and it's just phenomenal. I love it. Yeah, and of course that might be different from city to city, screen to screen. But definitely the one in Wichita is freaking awesome. The massive speakers, I don't know what kind they are, but They look like Klipsch. They got the horns on and the woofers, and they got, I forget, I want to say probably 15 or so going around the sides and the backs. And up on the ceiling, there was at least 10 ceiling speakers. So their Dolby Cinema setup is freaking awesome. Yeah. So for me, the only advantage with IMAX is the screen size. And of course, even then, you might be screwed because some of the cities have smaller IMAX screens than others, so they probably have to find out where, different sizes. The one in Wichita is pretty good. So that pretty much wraps up a discussion talking about the IMAX 3D versus a Dolby Cinema. I threw in a little bit of discussion on the high frame rate. If that's the way of the future, I'm not liking the way the future of cinema. I think standard frame rate, with the technology they have, the picture presentation is impeccable, because you already get that depth and details out of the standard 24 frames per second. I don't need three-dimensional. I just think it's good enough without it. And have that cinematic feel, and you lose that with high frame rate. And it's like, I'm so scared because we got The Abyss and Titanic coming out in 4K soon, and I'm scared those are going to be screwed up. I just know it. So check out my other videos on my channel, like and subscribe, and turn your bell notifications on. And we'll see you soon. Geek out.